Awesome. I like it. So, how is Gits going so far? Good. Ready for some SQL Server talking? Little complicated, little dry subject? Yes? Okay, good. How many of you were with me yesterday? How many of you? Awesome. A lot of you. How many of you work with SQL Server? Perfect. Okay, so you guys are all in the right place. One time I had same situation, then I realized I was in the wrong place. Everybody was right. So, those who were with me yesterday, they know how we do, right? I don't talk much. I want you guys to talk more. I know it's a big room, but it's okay. We're going to talk from all the way there. Fine? We'll both of us, all of us, will talk about SQL Server. We'll see what is going good, what is going bad, and then we'll put together and see how our SQL Server works. Right? Okay, good. So, let me start asking you a couple of questions. When we think about performance tuning, what is the first thing which comes to our mind in terms of SQL Server? Indexes. Love it. Indexes. That's the only thing comes to your mind? That only thing comes to my mind. Query execution plan, and then what do you check in a query execution plan? If your index is used properly or not. Good job. No, that's fine, we are on the same page. What else? Okay, so your boss comes to you one day and say, hey, tune the server. What are you going to do? First thing. Profiler. I/O. How do you reduce I/O or increase I/O? You add more drives? Increase the speed of drive? You just do something so it start working fine, faster? How do you increase I/O? No, that's true, but no, when we say I/O means I/O throughput. Space is good. No, that's good point. But we talk about I/O is throughput. How do we increase I/O throughput? Better? Better processing power, so you get a better CPU. And your I/O will be better? What will your better CPU do? Okay, let's talk. No, it's fine. Answers are all right. I'm not trying to twist or confuse any of you. We are all talking on a right sense here. We need a more CPU. So if you have more CPU, what it will do? It will do more computing. Right? What will it compute more? Query execution. What do we do in a query execution? Read data. I mean, there is something missing. Okay, let me finish the story. I think enough talking. This is how it works. When our performance when we don't get a good performance, there are three essential things we need to pay attention to. CPU, I/O, and memory. In case of I/O throughput, we can't do much. We can't add a drive, we can't change drive just like that, right? When your boss comes to you and say, increase the performance, you can't just change your I/O. And if you have memory pressure, you can't just add a memory like that. There is no reserve memory, you just put it in. If there is a memory, you would have already put it there, right? Yeah, right? So you can't do anything with the memory in one way. You can't increase, decrease, or play with memory. And what about CPU? Can you add more CPU? Just like that? Okay, we are hitting at the right point. What we need to do is that somehow we need to increase the performance, right? We need to make sure that we use our resources properly. Conserve the resources, maximize the resource usage. Correct? That's the goal. So we need to do something in a SQL Server itself so it gives us better performance. And what are the things we can do with SQL Server so it gives us better performance? Indexes? Optimization, how do you optimize it? Right query statements? Yeah, I know, I agree. So right thing, optimization, tuning, writing right thing, doing good thing. But what do we do actually when we have execution plan? That's my question is. We have to do right thing. Exactly. So whatever is the consuming resources, then we tune it. What do we do in tuning? That's the question. How do we do that? Yeah, we are same thing I'm talking about. I'm asking you exact tip. This is like that. How do you turn on car? Just turn it on. No, I want to drive the car. Yeah, just drive the car. If you want to turn on car, drive the car. I know. How do you turn on car? Use the key. But the thing is that put key in a starter and just give a starter on. Like if you want to talk, what is that thing I'm asking? You need to do something with execution plan, I agree. Okay, good job. So let's learn together that thing. Something about indexes. Indexes keep on coming, but beside indexes I am not getting anything. So I think it's fine. Let's learn about indexing right now. Let's do a couple of things, okay? Are you guys all ready? Little afternoon, so a little bit tired since morning. Let's do some fun stuff. Are you guys with me? Should I recover right now? Hey, why it is like that? Every time I select do not remind me, they always remind me. So if I say do it now, they will do something and say I can't do it. If I say remind later, it's going to remind me in like 3 minutes. If I say don't remind him, they remind me every time I turn on my computer. They should have a remind me they should have something, right? So never remind me. Last time I tried to uninstall it, my computer didn't boot. This tool. Okay, let's start our session. Let's start talking about it. So I am Pinal Dave. How many of you visit my blog? SQLServer.com. Awesome, I love you. Okay, this is my Twitter handle. So I just have a mandatory disclaimer. I want you guys to pay attention. All characters appear in this work are fictitious and resemble to real person. Living or dead is purely coincidental. Don't laugh. I'm serious. Hold on. You're taking photograph? I should better do this one. I need to give a pose. Okay. So this story is about 3 friends and their friendship. Okay? Please pay attention to the details which I'm going to show you, okay? This is Raj. He loves indexes. Seriously? What's wrong with Raj? Raj loves indexes. This is Priya. What does Priya do? She is okay with indexes. Neutral. This is Rahul. Exactly. What does he do? Hates indexes. So, Raj, Priya and Rahul, this is story about them. Okay? Work set? Why are you guys laughing? Yasraj computer. Don't you think that there should be computer shop which can have a Yasraj name in it? Names of the character make sense. Like Raj, have you never heard anybody, you don't have ever friend with the name Raj? You don't know any girl with the name Priya? Rahul? We all know them. They are like us. Raj, Priya and Rahul. They work at Yasraj computer. They are confused too. Look. And let's learn the story about their friendship. Okay? We are going to learn a story about them. Do you guys see any character here? Me? I'm just saying. Thank you. Thank you. This guy is excellent. You got a clap for you. I clap you. Okay? So here is the misconception I'll start with. Indexes is the solution to the most of the performance problems in SQL Server. That's many times people say. The reality is, let me clear the misconception, okay? How do I fix the misconception? What is the resolution of this misconception? This is the resolution. Please pay attention to the detail. No, this is really what I mean. Problem with indexes is this. Nobody understands them. Nobody understands them. Many people think this is how we can use indexes to improve performance. Anytime boss comes to us, what do? We create index. Always. Why? What else we can do? See, the exercise which we were talking right now, I was trying to talk to you guys, right? We were talking a few minutes ago. I tried to do my best to get an answer from you. Only answer I got was what? Except indexes, I couldn't get anything real thing. Nobody talk about, hey, you need to use DMVs to figure it out which is the expensive operator. There are indexes which was doing scan. There are certain indexes are right or wrong. There are certain joins are incorrect. You need to look at the subquery. You need to figure it out which was the most expensive kind of loop join was happening. What was CTE was doing? Are you having a loop unnecessarily? What was your wait state? Which query was waiting? Does your memory had a pressure? Does your CPU was somehow over engaged with the certain operators? There are more things to do about tuning. Only answer we get is indexes because that's what we do. And that's okay. So let's learn about what we know, right? Let's not spend time on something which we don't know. Let's learn right thing about what we know. If we are just going to create indexes when we have a performance problem, let's focus on that. That's the goal. So let's do that. So I'm going to talk about indexes, misconception, resolution, and see what can I do. So part 1, arguments. SQL Server performance is very bad. This is the problem statement we got. Every movie has a part 1, 2, 3, right? Nowadays, they take one book, divide it into 4 parts and make 6 movies out of it. There was a time where they used to take 3 movies and make 3 books and make 1 movie. Now they take 1 book and make 3 Hobbit movies. Okay, story so far. So SQL Server performance was bad. Priya was assigned to tune the performance. Naturally, Raj and Rahul will help because they're colleagues. Don't you guys help your colleague? I do. I respect them. What? Laughing. You guys. So server is slow, so Raj and Rahul want to help. So Raj was saying, create index, and Rahul was saying, don't listen to him. And don't create index. What should she do? What is it? No, tell me. Come on, let's talk for a second. Is there any way I can reduce it? This one? Oh, good job. Ah, nice. I was continuously disfocused. Good. Okay, tell me now, what should Raj do? Yeah, Raj did what he wanted to do. What should Priya do? Otherwise, believe. So this is how we are saying. Try one guy's advice. If it doesn't work, try second guy's advice. Don't apply your own. So Priya should either listen of Raj and Rahul. Nobody's answering me ever that she should do what is right for server. I'm being practical here. I always get this said, listen this guy, listen that guy has 10 years of experience. Yeah, fine. But should I ever talk to the server who has a 2 months of bad experience? Argument 1 started like that. Create index. This is how the argument goes in our office, right? Day job. The second guy says, don't create index. What will be argument 2? Same. 3? Same. 4? Same. 5? Same. Argument never changes. No, really. In our real life, I was telling him 3 months ago that do that, but you didn't listen, now you're bad performance. Now, he said, now if you are, okay, so if you know so much, why don't you fix it now? Now I can fix it. I gave you suggestion 3 months ago. Do you have that kind of character in your team? Seriously. I'm like, okay, fine, what happened in the past, can we forget? Yeah, but you don't listen to me all the time. And this is one example, this is 2 examples. I said, can we now look at the server? Yeah, but today I have to go watch movie. So today you look at it, tomorrow I'll come and look at it. I like, useless advice, too much gyan. Sometimes it's not helpful. Do something concrete. So this is what the Priya's reaction was then. It's silence, right? So he wants to do that instead of prove yourself. Indexes are good or not. Let's play the game. Let's do one at a time. I give you chance. Prove yourself, and who will win? I will listen him. What? 3 people said something else. What? Okay, no comments. So let's do the game. Yeah, okay? The indexes are good, indexes are bad. So we're going to see a demo of how unused indexes works, okay? And we'll see who wins. Let's do that. So I'll be creating, can you guys see the guy in the last can see this? No? Okay, let me fix it for you second, sir. Someday I will figure it out how to use various operating systems. Okay, fine. Can the last guy can still see it? No? No? Now is okay? Little better? Huh? Okay? The last guy? The guy in a red, black and blue shirt? Okay, 3 guys raised his hand. I was talking about 1. I can increase the fonts, but then the point is that, sometime I will have only one font in whole screen. So I will be creating a small table here. Do you guys see the table I'm creating? Why do I call it small table? Because it has only 4 columns: ID, first name, last name, and city. All of them are varchar 100. Okay? Create a table, small. Now I created it. Now I'm going to insert 100,000 row in it. And what is my data in this row? What are my datas in it? Can we just see? This is random data, right? Random data. I just cross join and produce some random data. Now what I'm going to do is that this, how many rows I have here? 100,000 or 1 lakh? 1 lakh row I am inserting into this table. I'm just inserting the table, right? I create a table, I am inserting a data into it. Something normally which we would do anyway. How long it took to insert me the data? How long? Okay, I'll ask again. How long? Yeah, who said that? Yeah, yes sir, you are very right. Everybody else 0? No, how can it take 0? It took little more than 0. It shows you 0 because it's rounding down. Less than 1. Yeah, you're right. Less than 1 second. Nanosecond. Yeah, let's start answering. Like, tomorrow you will say it went in a minus. Before I click, it executed itself. I can start going. I mean, yes, how do we get minus execution plan in minus? Before you mouse over, it executes itself. Like, that's perfect. Before user comes, it's like movie. That movie was, what was the movie where people were predicting the future? Minority Report. Anyway. So I'm just going to truncate this table. And I'll create 10 random indexes on it. 10 is not a big number. What is the large number? What is the maximum number of the indexes you can create on any table? What is the maximum number of the indexes you can create on any table? After 2008? 999. 999. 2012 definitely allows 999, you are right. Hey, why 999? Think about this way. In SQL Server, we always have anything which is like 256 or 512 or 1024. In the case of indexes, they stop at like 999. Why? What were you doing? They were like selling shoes of Bata, always like 99.99. Hey, I'm just saying, it would be good if they make it 1000, right? But there is 1000 actually. 999 is non-cluster index plus 1. Excellent. Good job. So I created 10 indexes on this table, and now I will insert the same kind of data again. What I want you guys to do with me is that guess the amount of the time it will take to insert this much data. Previously it took less than 1 second. What do you guys think the same amount of the data, same data, when I insert it will take now? Excellent. Who said more time? You are very much right. What will be that more time number, madam? Huh? I agree. 3-4. Good number. Anybody else want to try? Just try. Okay, let's try some game. How many think less than 5? How many think more than 5? How many think more than 10? Just check yourself. This is not, I'm not going to judge you if you're right or wrong. It's okay, just for ourselves to know that how we think of index, how it works out. If you don't raise hand, what happens? Like when whatever the number it comes, I was thinking the same. It happens to me. So there was a place when I went, I like people to actually write it down their notepad. But nowadays people say, as soon as I say notepad, like 3-4 people will look at me like I will give them pen or something. Like pen is something which we don't carry anymore nowadays. Always I see people walking with laptop and say, can I have your pen? I said, next time, take a pen instead of laptop, because when you walk around with me with your big laptop, you never open and show me anything. But pen, you can probably use it. See that in GIDS, it will happen the same. You'll see a lot of people walking with laptop on a bag. So what are you doing with that? You never open them. And if you open them, I don't want to see what is in it. Sometimes there is a scary stuff. Okay, I'm executing that. Okay, just please watch the time. Where are you going to watch time? Over here. Okay. Definitely more than 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. It took 7 seconds. Same amount of the data, which was taking less than a second, by just 10 indexes. 10 indexes can do this to your data. Okay, do you see what happens with the index? When you do insert, update, delete, or any update in a table, it's going to reduce the performance of it. What is the tick, 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 tick noise? Yeah. It felt like I was watching, like, you know, there is a lot of things I don't want to say here, but you get my point. Like, I just wanted to be curious that if I say tick, tick, why it stops, then it is a man who is doing it. If it doesn't stop, I'll run first. It was tick, tick noise, right? I mean, that continuously, like 6-7 people were looking at me like, I'm doing tick, tick, please don't do that. When I was a teacher, when I had a teacher who was annoyed to me, many times I was asked to stand outside the class just because of this tick, tick noise. And sometime when the class is boring, suddenly 10 people are doing tick, tick. Teacher decided, said, everybody else go out, this time you 10 people will sit in this class. You are doing tick, tick, sit here now. I'll teach you. You don't like my class? That's the punishment. Okay. So, what I was saying is that indexes can do this to you. If you have more than just 10 indexes, okay? So think about it. Do you ever have a table with 10 indexes? It can do this. No, you don't have it? You're lucky, man. Okay, not everybody is lucky. Who has an indexes more than 10 in a table? Any table, more than 10 index. It's okay to raise hand. Your manager will not do anything. Here, they probably not here even. And if you've done it in the past, right, it's not okay. Okay, let me reverse the question. Maybe this time I'll get answer. Many of you have less than 10 indexes on a table? Still some of the people didn't raise hand. Because you're sitting all the way, thank you very much, sir. I like the second last guy on a red, sir, blue, very good. Okay, I can see all the way back, man. The glasses doesn't mean that I see I can see all the way back, it's magnifying. So, coming back to the point, what is the point? Is that indexes can damage your system. But indexes can only damage your insert, update, delete, right? Then why do we create index? What? Select, it improves performance of select? Yes? How many say index improve performance of select? There is always like that. Something always. No matter how good you are perfect. Nobody is perfect. But most of the time, why would you create index? Then you create index to reduce the performance of select? No, I'm asking. I'm just being practical. You create index to improve performance, right? Why do you create? Okay, so not always. So I'll still create index because it's not going to improve performance of that query, and that query. Let's create 3 indexes. We don't do that. Why do we create index? That was the question. To improve performance of select, right? Or do you have any other motivation? Just being practical and want to talk to you to understand that you can just create index because I want to make sure my server got slow. I don't like my boss. I want to change my job. Or my boss doesn't like me. I want him to change the job. Sometimes happens. 3 of you together. 2 times I left a job, 3 times he left a job. This is my 6th one. Boss is in USA, I'm happy. No, seriously. I work for Pluralsight. My boss is fantastic guy. This is just because he's recording. No, but I mean it. No, seriously, sir. No, it's a joke. Okay. No matter what I will do, now damage is done. Okay, I'm going to just do it. But he's a great guy though. Okay. So, coming back to the point. So, indexes are good for, but at this point of the time you have seen that, right? It reduces performance. Indexes are bad in one way. Okay, think about this way. This is the scenario we were talking about, right? This was the scenario we were talking about, correct? Unused indexes. So what was the problem Priya had it? Performance was slow. So one guy was arguing to create index, one guy was arguing not to create index. Actually, who won? Rahul won because indexes are bad, correct? See, nobody asked this question to her that are you facing problem in insert, update, delete or select? But we just create index because we just have to. So Rahul won. Great job, no problem. Rahul can win as much as he want to win. Let's continue with the next question. So I have question for you is that table usually perform best when it is, please try to answer this one. Table usually perform best when it has, yeah, see that? Which one? How many think no index? How many think cluster index? No index will be small tables. I agree with you. So let me put it that way. So all the questions are a little generic. So we have to follow the 80-20 rules. Special cases I'm not talking for a moment. There are all special cases. That's why we have a special VIP passes and all this. Anywhere. So usually in most of the cases. Like, see, think about this way. Why would you create index? If you have no performance problem, then you're not going to create index, right? If your table is small, it's going to work good for you. You're not going to create index on it. It's okay. My point here is that when you have performance problem, that scenario, always before, when we do conversation, just think about this is a scenario which we are talking where there is a performance problem. That's it. So assume there is a large table then. Cluster index? How many think non-cluster index? That's fine, that's fine. Okay, let's start. So, we got a uniform answer that cluster index helps. Let me ask you a second question, and this is where I want you to answer me. This is interesting. A table usually performs worst when it has no index. How many think the first one, no index? Excellent. How many think cluster index? One guy. One guy, huh? Raise hand again, sir. Oh, you're a different guy. Raise hand this time. That guy changed his mind, and another one changed his mind. Okay, I see both of you now. Anyway, got it. How many for the non-cluster index with no cluster index? Few more, huh? So, if I put all of you in the same team, there will be always issues, like Priya Raj Rahul. What? Argument. Arguments is okay to me. It's just when we keep on doing argument, it's fine to me. But as long as boss doesn't ask me what you did last week, I'm okay. So, yeah, what did you do last week? We did meetings. We don't call it arguments. We call it meetings. Yeah, meeting never reach any conclusion. Yeah, right. So, this is the scenario. I'm going to show you a demo with cluster index. Okay? And let's do it. So, cluster index. Indexes are good, indexes are bad. Let's do that, okay? I'll try to show you a demo. So, similar table I'm going to create right now. So I know a few of the guys are recording, so please don't put it on YouTube. It will be violation because I think GIDS people are recording. Take photograph, put it anywhere, but if you're recording it, just don't put it live. You don't want to get in legal trouble with them or me, anybody, or just overall. Record, use it, personal use, but just don't put it out. So I'm just creating a table called noIndex with 4 columns in it. ID, first name, last name, city. Same table. I'm going to populate 1 million rows. So what I'm going to do this time is that I'm going to create 3 tables, not 1. First is no index, and I will populate how many rows here? 1 million. Oh, it will take some time because it's 1 billion rows. Okay, so it took a little more time. Now I'm going to create another table. Table's name is cluster index, is the same structure in it. And now what I will do, once again I will populate 1 million row in it. Okay, please note what I'm saying, 1 million. The reason I'm saying is that I know one of the argument all the time I get it afterward is that you are selecting all the rows from the table. No, I'm not. So, and I'm going to create a cluster index on it with a column on a column ID. Cluster index on a column ID. Please remember, because this is the second question I'll get, is that which column do you create an index on? I will always say I created an ID. Can you show me? So I'm showing you first. Then third table I'm creating, which is called non-cluster index. And now I'm going to insert again 1 million row in it. And after 1 million row is inserted, I will create a non-cluster index. And same, once again, the non-cluster index only have ID. Okay, I created cluster, three tables. You know, 3 table has the same data in it. This is the 3 tables. Okay, and all 3 tables has the same data, same structure, and I'm going to run a same query over it, and I'm going to retrieve data which is between 1 to 100,000, so 1 to 1 lakh. This is only 10% data. With me, I'm not selecting all the data from these tables, only 10%. Not big data set, not a small data set, something in between. Okay, now here is the question which we asked earlier. Which one of this query will be performing the best? Which, same data, right? You already know the structure. Which query will be optimal out of these 3? Cluster index? None of them? So none of them will execute? Somebody has to be better, man. When we run together, I know I am going to win because you are very thin actually. Anyway. I am not, what did you say? Am I retrieving? Did I say I am going to get this question afterwards? I am not retrieving all the data. No, see the query. I am only retrieving 10%. That is why I was making you guys remember it. Right? I told you I am only retrieving 10%. Right? Every single time. So please ask that question again all together, please. No, it happens 3 times I usually get. I like to all together. 10%, 10%, 10%. You are laughing. If you are in my shoes, you will know. You won't fit because you're too fat. Or me, I am too fat? What do you mean? You want to say I'm fat? I'm just zoomed in. Zoom out, zoom in. God look at me and thought I'm the perfect presenter on a stage in a big room so last person can see me. They can't see the font, it's okay. They should be able to see me. Just zoomed out. When I go home, I just put everything together. Which is the bad query then? Non-cluster? Hold on. I think nobody's sure here. Right? Are you sure? You can bet 10 lakh rupees with me? Even I would not bet right now. Let's do that. Okay? I'm going to execute this query and we will see which one is optimal. How do I know which one is optimal? I'm going to select all 3 of them. I'm going to enable the execution plan and I'm going to execute this query. Whichever query is optimal will get us our answer. Which will have a less resource. If all 3 queries are same, okay, same performance of all 3 queries, then they will be using 33% resources each. But if one of the queries is optimal, it will use less resources. Remember the learning which we had very first? Yes? Yeah? So, how many of you are familiar with execution plan? Just raise hand. It's okay. So what execution plan will do, will take these 3 query and divide the resource usage in a 100 by 100%. Which means this will get 33, 33 and 33. The one which is more expensive will have least amount of the resource used. Who said no first? You're right, sir. You're paying attention. Everybody else is sleeping. Before lunch, people are sleeping. No, the one which has a least resource consuming or least expensive will use least resources. Okay? So smaller is better. Smaller is better. Please don't correct me again. Don't make me repeat this one too. I execute all of them. Let's see the execution plan. Okay? Okay. Pay attention to execution plan and tell me which query is the optimal query and which query is non-optimal query. Which is optimal? This is optimal? Yeah, so all of you are right. Lot of people told me that index, the query without any index will be bad or worst, right? Is it the case? Lot of people answered me that query without index is bad. Right? So what did happen? What did we see right now? That index can also reduce performance of select statement. Yeah. That's okay. That's normal. Why? You guys thought something else? We create index for what? This kind of behavior we get, right? Normal. This is normal. Don't think I'm exaggerating or making fun here. It is normal. It is normal. I can't stress over it. This happens all the time. But do you ever look for it? That's the question. We will not find things if we don't look for it. What happens is that we always look for things like index is going to give us performance. We never look at it where index is making us lose performance. We never compare things like that. Clear? Okay. So, question again here. But, so it means the non-cluster index is really, really bad, right? In this case? Yes? Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have a cluster index. I said, I agree with you. If I have a cluster index, what would happen? Case number 2. Case number 2, because there is cluster index. SQL Server will always take the query which is optimal. Now, here is the question. So, which means I should never create a third kind of index, which non-cluster index without cluster index, right? Because it is bad. Yes, no. So, nobody knows anything actually, right? We just say things. Range? 10% range? Right. I'm not fetching all the rows. I'm fetching only 10% rows. 10%. What? All the column. You should say I'm fetching all columns, man. You said all the rows. Okay. I'm fetching. So, don't you ever have a requirement where you fetch all the columns? Yeah, we do. We do. I do. I always create, why would I have a data in my column which I'm never going to use? Yeah, that column, ignore it. We are not going to use it. We don't fetch anything from. Why do we have it? I didn't create it. So you don't create it, but you can drop it too? I don't know where it is being used. How about that? You do a project, but there is a project. Okay, go and explain my boss. I was like, I'm not going to explain your boss. He hired me to just find your mistake, not his mistake. Consultant is usually answered that way. So when I go consulting, I do that. I said, I'm never going to tell your boss has made a mistake. He got me. He did the right thing. So coming back to the point. So one of the arguments, sir, what is your name? You're very right. Just say. Yeah, what is that? Bali, very good, sir. Okay, I hope I said right. Okay, good job. So I'll just change it. So you are thinking the star is bad. I should just write a column names here. Oh, okay, let me do that. So I'll just make it. What are my columns there? Do we know? No, I need to know the column name, right? ID, first name. So I will drop the ID column. I'll just use these 3 columns. Just for fun here and see what happens. It's okay. I'm just using them here. Let me execute this. What happened? Same. Let me remove a couple of more columns, right? Let's start removing. Oh. No, I went all the way. My mouse decided to dance. How about I just go with 1 column then? Correct? I'll just go with 1 column. What will happen? What? Sorry, I think I didn't pay it. Same thing. Still the same scenario, right? Still the same thing. So most of the time, things are like this only. I'm trying to be generalized here. How many variation I can do with 3 column? I did 6 of them right now. I can do more. So Do you for a moment agree that last option was really bad? Let's try a couple of more examples. Do you see what is happening though? First of all, do you guys see that select is being heavily affected? And so I will just put ID over here now. This is something which we didn't try. Now the fun part starts. If I execute this one, which will be the most optimal query? Remember, there is a cluster index on ID in a second query. I just put a select ID. You can see over here change to. Oh, it's not here. Select. I only have a select ID. ID, select ID. Remember, in a second case, I have an index on ID column. Which will be the most optimal query out of these three? Second? How many for second? How many for the first? Good job. How many for third? Oh, those four random guys. Okay. No, they are only four. Let's see which one is right, okay? Yes, so we are all right. You can see that cluster index is really, no index is really bad, but you can see the cluster index is really working good, right? 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 Yes? Yeah? No? But didn't this what you expected? Have you ever played with indexes? This is super normal, super simple case. We didn't go to complex scenarios. We did not use joins. We don't have subqueries. We don't have views. We don't have a function here. Index is a large, complicated subject. We are still on a day one, first hour. This is okay. This is how it happens. Is it? Are you thinking that cluster index should be best? Why? Okay, how do you? Okay, what makes you think that? Question here is that there should be some reason in your mind that cluster index is best. That's why you gave that answer. You are not somebody who would just give. You must have some reason in your mind. Exactly. That's the right answer. I appreciated what you said. What he said that this happens usually when you have more than one column. But see, non-cluster index can be also useful when you are only retrieving the data which are only contained by non-cluster index. Here I have only ID. I can take it to next level and I can create two columns in my non-cluster index. I hope you guys know that in an index we can use more than one column. Like half of the places where I go and when I tell them, said really? Oh, it must be new in 2012. And I said, it was invented in 1980. I was not born then. I said, it makes sense. That makes sense. You were not born. How do you know? No, seriously. It happened to me 3 weeks ago. Fourth time. Most of the time I say, no, I try to be sarcastic a little bit. And I say, it was invented in 1990. Actually, it's not even before that. It was invented in 1962 by some code. What is his name? Who invented database? Not Boy Scout. There's other guy. Anyway, he's very famous. I forgot his name. What? JF Code. Yeah, you're right. That's the guy. No, seriously, that's the guy. I forgot his name. He's just famous. His name is American, so I keep on forgetting. So, you guys got the point, right? So, if I have two columns here, and if I only retrieve those two columns, non-cluster index will be always optimal. I think you guys are a little tired right now. Just this demo makes you tired. I need to go to complex one. I need to make it non-interactive sessions where I just keep on speaking, and at the end you just like, okay, he said something, you know his stuff. Okay, let's recap our learning before I continue to our story. What are the learnings which we had so far? First of all, if you have insert update delete, at that case, indexes can also adversely affect. If you have even select, it can also unpack them. You want to check and validate with your execution plan. If your index has a multi-column index, if that is the case, if you're only going to retrieve the data which is only part of that index key, like ID1 and ID2 are that, then that particular non-cluster index will help. Second thing, index can have more than one column. Third thing, not third, I lost the count. But another thing which we learn is that cluster index is always optimal when there is that key is part of where clause and you are retrieving certain data on a top. And that is the time. Also, we learned that no index is most of the time it's bad, but once in a while, no index gives you good performance. As the gentleman truly said, if you have a small table, definitely, but sometime in a big table also you can see that. At least 9 learning I talked about. So you want to make sure you drop your non-cluster, the indexes which are not used. You want to also go back and check the data, and also you may want to create certain indexes which is needed. That's why there are certain dynamic management view available. I'm going to show you before the end of the day. And before the end of the day, I'm going to teach you how you can get the scripts and everything. So we'll talk about that in a second also. So let's go to our story, which we left half. So in this case, cluster index definitely win. So I think at this point of the time, after all this learning, they both understood the reasoning which we just talked. Too many indexes are bad and good indexes are good. That's what it says. You need to make sure that you create right indexes which is good for your query. Don't create your indexes and start writing query for your indexes. I always see that. I always get this email. I talked to a few people yesterday. The email comes to me, always said, my query is not using the correct index or right index. And I always say, how do you know that it's right index? Because I created it. That always I get it, and it confuses me that, okay, what makes you right? Because I said it. Okay, are you calling me liar? They always say. I said, no, I'm not about lying. It's just, how do you know you are the right person? He said, why would I not be right? Anyway, that's a good point. So Priya decided to talk to both of them individually. Do you ever face this kind of situation? Your boss talks to them individually when two guys fight? I'll take his opinion separately, and I'll take your opinion separately, and then he will do what he wants to do, not who is right. Sometimes he just listens them. Okay, so he talks to them, said, do you think index is bad? He said, no, index is just an art. The second guy says the same thing. When he asked, Priya with Rahul now, said, hey, do you think indexes are really bad? He said, not really. Index is as an art. So let's say both of them together, and you can see both has the same opinion. We are always same opinion, the way that we say things. Both of them were right at a point. So index is an art. So that was one of the things I wanted to say. It's not easy to do. Yeah, very good. So Priya with, hold on. Oh, how did I get there? The wrong character. Oh, Priya with Raj and Rahul. If index is an art, then teach me. That's what she wanted to say. Yeah, there is bug happens, right? Always error happens to me too in my PowerPoint. So let's learn about the performance tuning. We have last 9 minutes right now. So I'm going to talk about a couple of tips, tricks, and how you can get this kind of scripts. Okay? All right. So I'll finish the story. Do you guys want to finish the story and see the demo? Let's do that. Story only takes 2 minutes. So we'll see an index demo of unused index, and then after we will see a demo of missing index, which we are going to see them. And at the end of the day, both of them wins, and they said, yeah, well, working together is fun. This is the story, essence of the story. Said, yeah, we want to work together, and they're friends again. So these are the few of the best practices. They said, create covering index, avoid function in a where clause. These are the best practices. Each of them, if I come GIDS next time, I'm going to take each of the best practices and I'm going to make a slides for them, session for each of them. Session, not a one line that. It's a deep subject. So we talked about also statistics, create filter indexes. They are also a good thing to do. And there is something called column store index. Also, they are very good. But again, I personally believe the column store index has certain limitations right now. Maybe the next version may have more, may have improvement. But anyway, coming to the point is that when these two guys are working together, it's really, really fun. Do you guys see they are shaking hands? Can the last guy can see it? No? So this is the last slide. So Raj, Priya, and Rahul from Yasraj Computers are happy. Please pay attention to their faces. They happily live ever after. How did that happen? So the story is going to be continue. I'll be answering your question, but before we'll see the demo, please don't go away. We have 5 more minutes. I'm going to show you demos. I just wanted to get over with slides. So if your question answer, we'll talk about that. So I'll show you demo very quickly. And Do you guys know why I decided to come up with this particular slide deck? No? I'll tell you the story. Do you know, this is my daughter's favorite slide deck. She always sits in my lap and always say, Daddy, can you show me the Raj story? This is her favorite thing. I made it for her, really, really, and she loves it. So, you know, we work all the time. We always work so much, so hard. Hardly we spend time with family. So I decided to come up with a solution where I'm spending time with family and as well as, and she would not understand. She thinks I'm playing with her and most of the time I'm creating slides. So this is called dynamic management view. She's 3 years and 7 months old if you're wondering. Last time somebody asked me, so which college she goes? I said, no, I'm not that old. And if she goes to college, I'm not going to tell you. Yeah, what? I mean, she understands indexes very well. Matter of the fact, go on a YouTube, go to Pinal the West channel and check her video which I posted latest. She will teach you how to write select statement. Trust me. Anybody has seen that one video? Oh, 7-8 people has already seen. Excellent people. She teaches how to learn select statement. What do you think? She doesn't know? She's 3 years and 7 months old. Yeah. I mean, I think she's a little slow, but it's okay. It's my daughter, so I like it. And I'm not kidding. Go and check that video. She teaches you how to do select. She talks about big data. Okay. So these are two dynamic management views. Do you guys see that? Dynamic management views. This dynamic management view will give you the information that if you have missing index or if you have unused index. What you have to do is simple. You just execute this query with your database context, and if there is any data, it will come here. Why didn't come anything? Because for AdventureWorks data, we did not do anything. What I can do over here is that I can run this query for a few times, and then I can go back over here, and I can start running, and you can see this one coming up, right? See, it's increasing, correct? So you can use this dynamic management view. So your next question will be where you can download DMV. I'll tell you in a minute. I'll ask 4 minutes to go. So this is one thing you can do. And so when you find a missing index, what you will do? You will take this script, go to new Windows, paste it, and that's it. You can just create this index automatically. I give you everything. See that? You just create this index and you're done. That's simple. It will give you the missing index, the index which you should have created. One more demo, sample. Okay, this is the last demo, last 2 minutes. So, unused indexes, I think this will just work itself because we did some query. Yeah, these are the unused indexes are already there in my database because we ran few queries before earlier, and you can see them, and if I have to drop them, the drop statement will come if they are worth dropping. Sometimes the drop statement will not come because they are cluster index. We don't usually drop cluster index because they are good indexes. Cluster index are not a good candidate to drop always because you created with certain reason, and as we talked about, it sometimes helps you in your query too. So what I can do is that I can just run some random queries like this and can go to unused index and start executing this. Do you see the new entry over here? There's a drop statement. You can use this drop statement, put it over here, and you can drop this. Hey, I make your life easy. You want the script where you can download it? Try it out yourself? Yeah, let's do that. And then we are done at the end of it. So these are the scripts, and I have all the scripts and everything which is in this. If you want to take out your phone, you can take a camera, or if you want to write it down, write it down. A lot of people become lazy. Nowadays, people are becoming lazy, so they take photo. Right? Yeah, good job. Only 4 people. That's fine. Everybody else can write it down. These are the URL which you see at the end of it. SQL tune, SQL index, PSCF, bit.ly, SQL Q&A, 1. There's a 1 at the end of it. Okay? So you can go and download this one, and if you, these are some of them requires the plural size subscription. Outside the hole, right after outside, I'm going to stand there. There is a plural size role. Our booth is there. Go ask for a free subscription card. Say Pinal asks you to give you. They'll give you free subscription card. You can watch these courses for entire month, what I'm talking about, my courses. Okay? Alright, I think I have last 1 minute and I want to say something. So, thank you. Thank you. I hope you like that. They work in a Yasraj computer. One day we all will get hold. So my learning, my lesson, my tip to you guys that spend as much as time with your family. Really, I do that. Check out my daughter's video on YouTube, which I put it. She says select start from table and few other things. I encourage you to check it out today. And you will be amazed what 3 years and 7 months mind can do. So thanks a lot.